Hey, what's up everyone? My name's Wes. We're talking to Foul Folk in today's video as we are diving into the species. Well, I'm guessing this is part 1 of the species available in Heliana's Guide to Monster Hunting. I feel like there's probably more species, but either way, we're talking the ones available currently on D&Dbeyond today. So let's go. The first species we have is so coded in marine biology. It's, well, it's drowning in it. And that is our Cnidarans. Cnidarans, they're jellyfish folk, all right? And these jellyfish folk have a 30-foot walking speed and a swim speed equal to their walking speed. They are medium in size. They can speak common and one other language of your choice. And that's it for the base species. We have a couple of subspecies. Our Nematocyst first feature is also the name of the subspecies, Nematocyst, which lets you use dexterity instead of strength when you make an unarmed strike, and you deal piercing damage, which is 1d4 of strength or dexterity and piercing damage instead of bludgeoning. So already you're on par. Well, you're stronger at making unarmed strikes than anyone who's not a monk or dance bard or took the unarmed fighting style. And I believe I covered an unarmed focus barbarian in my last video up here for Grim Hollow. There was an unarmed barbarian, the Hulk barbarian. It's not really called the Hulk barbarian, but you basically Hulk out. Either way, the next feature that they get is Neurotoxin. As a bonus action, you can apply this toxin to any weapon, and creatures have to make a con save against your Constitution-based DC, or be paralyzed to the start of your next turn. The toxin-coated weapon lasts for an hour. Alternatively, you can use this feature when you hit somebody with an unarmed strike. You're basically built-in stunning strike right from the get. Right from level 1, you have stunning strike, basically. Pretty strong, pretty good. And you have toxin adaptation, which gives you advantage against being poisoned and resistance to poison damage. I'm gonna also add in there, because this was written before the revised rules, that you probably also have advantage on ending the poison condition. Our next polyp is a Shimmerskin. No real science in that name. However, as a bonus action, you can basically like turn an array of colors, sort of how octopuses do their camouflage ability, or let you know, don't come near me, by changing colors. But your beautiful colors are going to give you advantage on all charisma checks, whether that's deception, intimidation, persuasion, or performance, for 1 hour, for 10 minutes. And you can do this once per long rest. Oh, I forgot to mention the other, oh my god, how did I forget that name already? The Nematocyst, it's a neurotoxin, can be done proficiency bonus times per long rest. But you have hypnotic phosphorescence. Love the science in this name. So much science, and it makes sense from the book that makes you assess creature types and do all the stuff needed for monster hunting and crafting. But yeah, so you're gonna gain minor illusion, then charm person, and later on suggestion as you level up, the way, you know, all species that give you spells do. Level 1, level 3, level 5. Currently it says charisma is your spellcasting ability. If we go 2024 revised rules, then we're just gonna say you can choose this. However, in D&D Beyond, you're gonna be stuck with charisma, I believe. And I don't know if I covered the fact that you're medium-sized, amphibious, so you can breathe air and water technically. I know I mentioned speed. So yeah, you can be a jellyfish on land, though I think you would be best in a seafaring or even underwater campaign. I'd probably maybe even use this species for NPCs if I was doing like an environmental focus campaign. I would actually love to play in an environmental focus adventure at least once. I think I have a few friends who would love it also, so that'd be pretty fun for me at least. Let me know if that'd be fun for you. Comment down below if you want to be in an environmental themed campaign or adventure, mini adventure, one shot, whatever. Or if you've ran one. I can only see running one for like students or children possibly, but that's just me. We're gonna move on. Our next species is a Cyclopian, which once again, it's another aberration themed species, you're actually humanoid, but you also count as an aberration for any things that might count for aberrations. So hopefully you're not fighting against a Horizon Walker Ranger who's using the old roles and has picked up Wetland Explorer and also added aberration to their list, or up against the Monster Hunter with aberrations on their list. Either way, as a Cyclopian, you have dark vision out to 60 feet. You have Knowledge Seeker, which gives you proficiency in either Arcana, History, Insight, Investigation, Medicine, Perception, Religion, and/or Stealth. It's a lot, but you get 2 of them. You know, you can speak, read, and write Common in one other language of your choice. Then you have Savant of Secrets, which, as an action, you can give yourself advantage on Perception, Insight, and Investigation checks for 1 minute, and you can do this once per long rest. I think I mentioned it, your size is medium, your walking speed is 30 feet. You have a flavor feature called Food for Thought, which only matters if you track food in your campaigns or not. And then lastly, Top Shelf means your character only prefers the finer things in life. I'm joking, Top Shelf means you have a climb speed of up to 20 feet. That's Cyclopians. What was the last species that I covered? It was from the Book of Vermintides. I can't remember the name right now. I did it in my last species video. But more aberrations, please. And I don't need to be a Mind Flayer. We don't have to go down that Baldur's Gate 3 route. How cool would it be to be in like a anamorphic or monstrous campaign? Not necessarily an evil one, but just imagine a campaign where there are no humans or humanoids, elves, dwarves, humans, halflings, gnomes, kender, even orcs are out, Gith are out, tieflings, no Azamars, no Goliaths, it's pretty restrictive. However, all those, it's like a Monsters Inc. campaign. Monsters U, oh my god, we could literally play Strixhaven campaign. Everyone's just the anamorphic species or monstrous species. Yeah, that's some good stuff right there. Next up, we have the Gobboc. Gobbocs are little chickens. Your size is small. Your walking speed is 25 feet, but once again, if we were revised rules, this would be 30. However, there's no way to do that on D&Dbeyond. So, because you're small, you're eligible for the squat nimble feat, which would increase your speed by 5 feet, which is regardless of the point, because we're going to talk to Foulfolk. Commune with Foulfolk, you can speak, you have the ability to communicate with feathered folk or feathered creatures, beasts, and monstrosities. Very limited though, they understand the meaning of what you're saying, but you can't understand them. You do have advantage when it comes to taking the influence action to try to influence them. So animal handling or, persuasion with them. You have Coward's Creed, which as a bonus action you can disengage. Feathered means that when you take falling damage, you basically have resistance to falling damage. You can cast Polymorph on yourself once per long rest, but you can only turn into a chicken. Headless chicken. One of my favorite features ever. Just by the name, it's hysterical. But when you are dropped to 0 hit points and aren't killed outright, you can immediately move up to half your movement speed without provoking opportunity attacks, and then you fall prone, which is pretty cool. Because if you get hit with a creature that has multi-attack and they hit you the first time, you can just go whoop 15 feet, which I know isn't half of 25, but I'm assuming you have 30-foot movement speed or higher if you're a monk, but you get dropped to 25. But yeah, that's our Chicken Little, our little chicken friends. Damn it, now I'm thinking of Chicken Little and how the Obajima subclass fighter has a baseball bat, and at least they do in the picture that they show of them. Alright, so next we have our Golins, and their walking speed is 30 feet. Their size is medium. They can speak Common in one other language of their choice. They have Powerful Build, which means they count as one size larger for pushing, dragging, or lifting purposes. Also grappling. They have a natural armor, so their AC is 13 plus their dexterity, and they're allowed to use shields on top of that. They have shovel talons, which gives them a burrow speed of 15 feet. Tremor sense gives them tremor sense out to 5 feet, and they have but they can use an action to grant themselves tremor sense out to 20 feet till the end of their next turn. They have drill dervish, which if you're burrowing and you go under a creature that is large or smaller, that creature has to make a strength saving throw or fall prone, and the DC is based off of your strength. So yeah, that's basically it for our Pangolian armadillo friends. Unfortunately, they can't actually roll into a ball. Sort of like how the turtle can withdraw into their shell. Wait, can the turtle withdraw into their shell? Or am I making that up? Let me know if I'm making that up. I'm not gonna check it right now. Alright, next we have our Ratkin, which I believe this is gonna be another rodent species, not counting the Ratatosk or the Anira from Book of Vermintides. And there's also the species that I haven't gotten to yet, but the ones in Humblewood, which those are really like full-blown anamorphic, no humans in that campaign setting. But either way, these Ratkin have dark vision out to 60 feet. They are considered small. Their walking speed is 30. They can speak common and one other language of their choice, and they have a number of subspecies, starting with Posskin. Your bite does 1d6 plus your strength modifier in slashing damage instead of bludgeoning for this unarmed strike, which is considered an unarmed strike. Scavenger gives you advantage on saving throws against disease and poison, and you have resistance to poison. Alright, disease doesn't exist in the new 2024 revised rules, so I'm assuming this would read, you have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned and ending the poison condition, and we have resistance to poison. But here's the best part about the Posskin. It is play dead. When you are reduced, when you take damage that reduces you to half your hit points or lower, you can use your reaction to play dead. So you fall prone, and a creature has to, you just look dead automatically. They assume you're dead. They would have to make a get within 5 feet of you to make an intelligence investigation check against your Constitution deception check. Yeah, I love that. It uses a Constitution deception check, and you can use this once per short or long rest. So I would also allow this to work outside of combat, because I feel like that's a good way to sneak into a place. Like, they pick your corpse up and like carry you away somewhere because you were dead on the road as a Posskin. That's like, I feel like that's some good infiltration right there. Right, next up we have our Tanukin, which you're a raccoon dog. You often see in Japanese media, anime, folklore, and media, and in lore, they're often portrayed as tricksters. So, adept trickster, which means you have proficiency in your choice of deception or persuasion. Wild speech lets you, similar to the Gobboc speaking to feathered creatures, you can speak to beast. They can understand the meaning of what you're saying, but you also have no way of understanding them. Then Tanukin magic gives you minor illusion. At level 3 you get disguise self, and at level 5 you get alter self. And this is actually super on par with them, because that lets you, since you're small size, with disguise self or alter self, you can take on the traits of a halfling, gnome, kender, or any of the other small species we talked about. On D&Dbeyond, you have no way of changing this, because the Tasha's rules aren't available to non-WotC species. So you'd be stuck either using wisdom or charisma for these spells. Yeah, you'd be fine. Doesn't matter what your stats are for these spells. But moving on to our last one. Next and finally we have Urkin. Your street urchins, your trash pandas, your good old-fashioned rocket raccoon. Give me that arm, baby. So you are going to gain Streetwise. because you're street urchin, you little trash panda, you adorable little trash panda, you gain proficiency, sleight of hand, or stealth, and additionally, you know thieves can't. Then you get nimble dodge, which when you have to make a dex save, you can give yourself advantage on that dex save, and immediately after, whether you fail or succeed, you can move not half, but your full movement speed without provoking opportunity attacks, and you can use that once per short or long rest. I literally once woke up with 2 raccoons in my bedroom because I left my bedroom door open at night, and the kitchen window was knocked down, and we didn't have a screen on that kitchen window at the time. And mind you, this was on the 2nd floor of a brownstone in downtown. So waking up at 6 a.m. to 2 raccoons in my room was terrifying. You're probably like, how did you not hear the noise? Well, typically between 5 and 6 a.m., you hear the crackheads scurrying around on the corner of where I lived. So yeah, there was that terrifying moment. I had to chase them out in my underwear, and well, one of them was so pudgy that it couldn't climb back up the window on its own. So with the broomstick that I was using, not to actually hurt or injure them, just to scare them away, I put it underneath its little butt and propped it up so it could go out the window. I have a couple raccoon stories too. There's another one where I was working, and there was literally a family of raccoons in the dumpster once, and they had no way of getting out. I don't know how they got in there. Well, they probably had a way of getting out, but the next day was garbage day, so if they didn't get out, they were going to be in trouble. So I took a huge piece of cast iron baseboard, slotted it into the dumpster as a ramp for them to climb out of. That's my raccoon story, and that's it for these species in today's video. If you've made it this far in the video, comment trash pandas below. And that's it for me today. My name's been Wes. Where's the fun? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more D&D, Warhammer, and other tabletop games. Thank you. Bye.